I do dedicate a lot of time to it, and I think that I get more than enough payback, actually. And it's not monetary, although it has also been through clients that I've received. One of the reasons that I joined ASTD, and in fact, as soon as I joined the local chapter, I became involved on the board, is because I wanted to increase my network. I wanted to increase my visibility as an expert in my field. Okay. I wanted to be able to use my leadership skills to influence my field, my industry, my profession. And this is such a wonderful opportunity to do that. It really gives me access to people that would have never heard of me before. You know, before I was involved in the association, I really just sort of, you know, as an internal employee, I was going to work, I knew the people I worked with, and then I went home. But when I became involved, one of my first roles was Director of Communications, and that meant that I sent a newsletter once a week to over 2,000 people who had never heard of me before. But you know, when I went to meetings, people would say, "Oh, Halelly Azulai, you're the one who sends me emails. Oh, thank you very much." And people would know my name. And then I was the director of programs. And so then I met the speakers who are experts in the field. I met people at the hotels. I met people who came to the meetings. And they had a face to go with the name. And they got to know me. They got to see how I managed the program. So they didn't really see me training in a classroom, but they could see that I'm responsive. They could see that I'm maybe charismatic, or maybe they could see that I make good contact with people. I'm personable. That made them feel that I probably am a good trainer. So if they needed a trainer, they would be able to count on me. So it was very indirect marketing.
So now I'm going to talk to my audience here for a minute, because I did not prep her to say this, but it actually goes back exactly to what I keep talking about in the book about the value of networking. Everything Halelly has just said is reinforced in the book. And the truth is, here she was, an employee that nobody knew, but by joining an organization and taking on a leadership role, she suddenly became somebody. And by sending out this email or this e-zine once a week, people started to see her name. That's developing yourself. And remember when I talked about the average person takes 5 to 7 contacts to be remembered, but we want to be remembered in 1 or 2, and in the book I show you how? Well, that's what she's doing. Every time she sent out that email, 2,000 or 3,000 people started, and especially with her name, they really started to notice her. And the other thing that Halelly you brought out, which absolutely goes right into the book again, is that opportunities that you might never get on paper, you will get when you meet people in person. One of the examples that was in my book, and it was a true story, it was an attorney that had never worked in corporate America. She wanted to only work 20 hours a week. She'd come into town. She'd been out of the workforce for 3 years. And she came into town and goes to a recruiter, and they tell her, "We have nothing available for you and you're too old." I couldn't believe that one. But anyway, so I told her, don't listen to him, go to a networking function. And at a networking function, she happened to meet exactly somebody that was looking for what she needed. And she would never have had that opportunity. If she had submitted her resume, the woman would have never looked at it. Yeah. But like you said, when people meet you and they see your personality, you're not training right then and there, but they see that you're exuberant, you're lively, you're interactive, you're vivacious, and that's what a good trainer is. Because otherwise you put people to sleep, right? You and I both know this. Yes. All right, so that was an excellent example, and I thank you for that. Now, we have just to wrap up here, so what would you like to tell our viewers about the benefits of membership? What to you is the most important aspect of joining a professional organization?
Well, I think there are really 2.
Okay.
One is professional development, increasing your skills and your knowledge, and the second is increasing your network. In a nutshell, those 2 put together will always really accelerate your career, your opportunities, the people that you meet that can open doors for you, and the skills that you have then when you come into those opportunities to show that it was a worthwhile risk that they took to take someone that they met in a networking event and to hire them or to bring them on as a vendor.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time and for being on Mentor Forward. It was a pleasure. Now, I'm going to wrap up, and interestingly enough, she did it again, and maybe it's because we're both trainers and we are like-minded thinkers. but she led right into why it's important to join a professional organization that has your competition there. Remember when I talked about that earlier? I think you should have one of each. If you're a person that's looking for business, what you want to do is you want to have a professional organization where you get educated. So that would be ASTD, where you're educated because technology is always changing and you need to be aware of the tools so that you can stay abreast of the competition. And the other is you want to go to, and you get referrals from people because not everybody wants your kind of prospects. So that is very important. And then the other is you go to other venues where your prospects may be. So you want to combine the two together. And with that said, I guess I'm going to have to wrap it up and come to a close. Please be sure and join us next time when our topic will be on community service and getting involved with your community. And until next time, please remember that as I mentor you, please mentor forward too, because knowledge is powerful, but only when it is applied and used. Until then, Tashakara Adiram.